So we're back. I was about to do my other intro. So we're back. Today I just wanted to talk about. The big news dropped over this weekend that KSI, the KSI Alex Wasabi fight is no more. They apparently Alex Wasabi had a concussion and he pulled out of the fight. Now this is the third of the three fights of the three YouTuber influencer boxing matches that have got canceled or slash called off or switched in the last month now. So it's starting to look a little, a little fishy out here. I don't know exactly. It's hard to explain what it is, but in my head it just seems a bit weird. So first it was supposed to be Jake Paul and Tommy Fury. Now, they were supposed to fight a few months ago. That got called off because Tommy Fury got injured in camp. He injured his ribs or something, so it got called off. And that's when Jake Paul fought Tyron Woodley for a second time, and then obviously knocked him out, and that whole thing happened. Then then they were going to fight again, and it got announced that they were going to fight again. All of a sudden, Tommy Fury can't get into the U.S., which, I don't know, seems a little fishy. I don't know exactly what's going on or what the whole situation is there, but it just seemed a bit weird that he couldn't get into the U.S. All of a sudden, couldn't get into the U.S., but didn't explain anything. They were just I don't know, can't get into the U.S., guess it's off. What happened in means that he couldn't get in? I don't understand that. And then you're just giving Jake Paul more stuff to be well, he's scared of me. So, I don't know. And then Raheem, I don't even remember this other guy's name, but apparently there was this whole thing with him that he was supposed to get down to 200 pounds or something like that, and he was at 215. And the fight was supposed to be yesterday, I believe, or the day before, whatever. I think it was supposed to be recently. But he was supposed to get down to 200. He was at 215, and they didn't think that he would make weight on time. And they were trying to raise the weight. It was just a whole thing. I don't really know. Raheem's side was saying how saying Jake Paul didn't knew about this, whatever. I don't really care. That thing, so that got canceled. I wasn't really looking forward to that anyway. I don't really care I don't care about any of that. And then there was supposed to be Austin McBroom and a Nissan Gibb, and that got canceled because apparently Gibb got hurt in camp. And then we come up on KSI Alex Wasabi. Now this is the one that was the last one, supposed to be at the end of the month. Really excited for. Now we find out Alex Wasabi has a concussion and can't go. Is going to pull out of the fight. Now, because of this, it starts this whole whirlwind of shit on Twitter. KSI going at Jake Paul going at KSI, being yo, both of our opponents pulled out, let's make a fight happen. Now, this is where the whole kind of bullshit happens. Now, Jake Paul's I will agree to your terms. I'll fight you in London, or I'll fight you in the UK. I'll fight you for free. I'll fight you at any weight I want, or at any weight you want. I'll do this, I'll do that. Which I understand. He's gonna saying I will literally do anything almost at this point to fight him. KSI said, well, there's already someone contractually assigned to be in the fight, which is this rapper, I'm pretty sure, named Swarms, and he's supposed to be the replacement. Now, from the information that I've gathered, it seems like they had backups in place so that shit like this wouldn't happen. So people like Swarms was on standby in case Alex Wasabi dropped out. And there's other people on standby if someone drops out of this fight, so that each fight can keep going. Each fighter doesn't feel like they wasted their time. That's what it sounds like to me. But I don't really know. Obviously, I'm not in the event. I don't know anything about that information. But it sounds like they already were signed on to be a stand-in, basically. And I know a lot of people are pissed, and I've seen the internet. The internet is pissed about it. They're calling JJ, all these names, saying he's a pussy and that he's ducking Jake, and He could have fought anyone else. He's trying to get this easy win now, all this shit. But what y'all don't really seem to understand is from what I'm gathering from all this information that we're getting, is that Swarms was, like I said, was literally signed on already. Was signed on to fight if Alex couldn't fight. So it's not like KSI could just be like, oh, sorry, Swarms, you're out of here because I'm going to fight Jake Paul now. Like, you can't just do that. There's a contract involved that people sign and that they're going to have to honor that contract. And I see a lot of people like, well, why didn't he put Bryce Hall at standby? Why didn't he put Austin McBroom on standby? Why didn't he put this person on standby? Because a lot of these guys are so busy. I'm not saying Swarms isn't busy, but like Austin McBroom. Like, that dude's probably busy as hell. Bryce Hall, probably busy as hell. These guys are huge influencers in the game. Probably busy as hell. They don't have time to train for a fight that may or may not happen. Because, like, guess what? If Alex Wasabi stays in the fight, if Austin McBroom's on standby, he spent, 2-3 months for an event that is not even a part of. Yeah, I get he was probably already working out for his event or whatever. But, like, that's the thing, is when you're in camp, especially these boxers, these guys, when they go into, like, their boxing camp, there's a strict regimen you have to follow. Like, you have to eat this strict diet. You have to work out this many times a day. You have to do these workouts per day. All this shit. You have all these people around you all the time to make sure you're doing your shit. Do your shit. So you don't have time to do your other work, like your YouTube or, your other business ventures that you're trying to do, because you just don't have time. You're so focused on this fight. So imagine going into a camp and there's a chance you put everything else on hold for the time being. Then you go into camp and then they're like, well, you're not actually going to fight because this guy said he's going to fight. It doesn't make any logistical sense for a lot of these bigger name guys to do it. Now, again, like I said, I don't know Swarms. I don't know if he's huge in the UK. It doesn't seem like it because there's a ton of people on the internet like, who? But I'm pretty sure he's an artist, and I think he did a song with KSI before, I'm pretty sure. But maybe this guy isn't as busy or maybe he's already done boxing stuff. He's already been doing boxing training, or I don't know what it is. But he was on standby and he's ready. So KSI still wants this event to happen. He doesn't want to have to postpone the event. He doesn't want to have to cancel the event to do a new one. I get that Jake Paul will just come in on this event, but it's already like set in how they wanted it. And also, the biggest thing for me is if you want KSI Jake Paul, this could be the biggest fight maybe ever, right? And I'm not even trying to discredit any professional boxers, but like these two have some of the biggest draws, like name-wise, in the game right now. Like Jake Paul, as much as people want to hate him, he has a huge name. His name is huge. KSI has a huge audience. Pretty much the whole UK loves KSI. A lot of people in the US love. He has a huge draw to his name. So guess what? That fight is going to be massive, or would be massive. Right now they're fighting at the O2 Arena. KSI and Alex Wasabi are Swarms now. I was looking it up yesterday. The O2 Arena only holds 20,000 people. That ain't shit. Like, even if the fight is staying in the UK, right? They go to Wembley Stadium. I think that's the biggest stadium in the UK. Holds 90,000 people. So that's 70,000 more people that can fit in this to watch this arena live, or to watch this boxing match live. So why wouldn't you want to do that? And you want to build up the hype. You don't want it to be, obviously this happened last night. So that means the fight would be 3 weeks away. It's just, it didn't build up enough hype. You didn't get the whole pressers. You didn't get all this fun shit that's supposed to go into these fights. And on top of that, Jake Paul is doing all this shit like, well, I haven't even been in camp for a week. I would have to fly all my guys back out here. I'd meet you at your weight, so I'd have to lose a bunch of weight and all this shit. And I get what he's trying to do. He's trying to be like, I'm willing to do all this shit. But guess what that would also do? That would also open the door for hella excuses if Jake Paul were to lose. And I think he would definitely use it. Like, he's like, I'll do it. And then after it happened, if for some reason KSI would win that fight, if that were to happen, Jake Paul would list off every single excuse. Oh, well, I had to lose 20 pounds before the fight. I only had 3 weeks notice. I had taken a whole week off of camp. I had done this. I had done that. So, like, the excuses would come flowing. And I get that would probably open up a door for a rematch or whatever. But it's like, no. Why don't you guys just have an official fight at some point later on, early next year? That would be great. Maybe March of next year would be a perfect time. Because what I'm thinking right now is these guys are all saying how easy of a fight Swarms is going to be for KSI. Cool. If it's going to be so easy, KSI gets through that fight, no problem. And if KSI doesn't take too much of a beating at all, then he just moves on. And then you can have a fight as early next year. That way they can relax for a little bit, chill out for a little bit, and then then get back into camp in a couple months. And like I said, I understand why people are upset and people feel like he's ducking and all this shit, but KSI is a businessman at the end of the day. He's a businessman, and he knows that a Jake Paul KSI fight will be massive, and it will break the internet. And like I said, I think it would be one of the biggest fights of all time. Not just YouTuber, like literally one of the biggest fights of all time. I think it would be. Easily. So why not wait to put this all together to make this some huge spectacle? Not in front of 20,000 people. Not in... You want to have this at the biggest stadium you can. If you want to come to the U.S., have it at a huge football stadium here. I don't even know what the O2 Arena holds in the UK. I don't know what it holds, but 20,000, that is not a lot of people. Especially like Wembley can hold 90K. That's almost quadrupling the number of people that can come to the thing. Like, why wouldn't you want to do that? Because they could easily sell that out. Easily. KSI, Jake Paul, two of the biggest YouTubers on the... Well, Jake Paul doesn't claim to be a YouTuber anymore, but say Jake Paul is one of the biggest names in fighting right now. KSI is still huge, especially in the UK. Massive. So it would be a huge fight. It's not the fight you want to have within 3 weeks. It's just not. I mean, and I know, and like I said, a lot of people are upset, and a lot of people are like, "Oh, you're ducking, you're being a bitch, you're being all this, whatever." And I'm sure he's probably, hears it. He's probably seeing his Twitter all blowing up with how much of a pussy he is, all this shit. Fine. But I do think at the end of the day, this was the smartest decision. And again, I think they already had Swarms signed on to be a replacement just in case this were to happen, because it's been happening. Like, they probably saw, oh, hey, we had 2 of these events get canceled in the last 2 weeks because of fighters not making weight or getting injured or whatever. So we don't want that to happen to ours. We don't want to lose our event. So we want to have a guy on standby. That's probably what they did. And you can't just break a contract. So, am I excited to watch KSI versus Swarms? No, I'm not. I wanted to see KSI Alex Wasabi. I thought it would be a fun fight. But I'm not really excited for the Swarms one. I'm a little excited to see the Deji and Fusi Tube fight. That one will be a little exciting, but I don't know, man. It's just it is what it is at this point. And like I said, I know people are mad, and I know there's all those weirdos that are like, "Oh, he's ducking." I don't think he's ducking. And also, JJ hasn't fought in a major fight in like 3 years. And I get all of his press conferences and stuff like that. They're like, do you think you could beat Jake Paul right now? And he's like, yeah. But it's like, what do you want him to say? You want him to be like, no, I don't think I could beat Jake Paul right now. Of course he's gonna be like, yeah, I think I could. I really do think I can. But this was supposed to be already with Alex Wasabi. This was supposed to be his warm-up fight, a fight to. I'm not saying Alex Wasabi is gonna be trash. I don't know, or would have been trash. But, like, this was supposed to be that fight that he got warmed up and was able to, okay, and let me get back to the groove of things in an actual fight. Because sparring can only take you so far. It's like the actual event is a new thing. It's just like any sport. If you could practice all you want, but there's nothing like actual game time. Game time reps. And, coaches will always say that. Like, when I played football in high school, we would practice a shit ton. And especially in like August and shit like that, we'd had 2 days and all that stuff. We'd practice 7-8 hours a day, And it's like, yeah, you put in that work, you're getting stronger, you're getting faster, you're learning the plays, but there's nothing quite like actually playing against someone that's the best of the best on the other side. Usually if you're on the starting offensive line, you go against a guy on the defensive line. He's sometimes he's good, but then other times you're running against a scout team, so they're not as good as whatever it is. But there's just something about actual reps, in-game reps, in-fight reps that sparring cannot give you. You have to fight actually in person, in front of the crowd, in front of all the lights, in front of all the cameras, with all the pressure on. So, I don't know. Like I said, I'm not that excited for the event anymore. I didn't buy the pay-per-view yet anyway. I was thinking, because it was only like $15 or something like that. So I was definitely thinking about it. But at this point, no, I'm not gonna. I'll probably just watch some highlights afterwards or something, like YouTube highlights after. I hope they do post it on YouTube or something. But yeah, I don't really care to watch anymore. And especially if it's in the UK, then it's at like 3 p.m. on like here in the US, it's on at like 3 p.m. or some shit like that, the fight. And it's just like, I don't know. Like I said, just not that excited anymore. So I do hope KSI and Jake Paul end up fighting at some point. And I think they will. I really do think they will. Unless Jake Paul is going to be like, well, he ducked me once. I'm not going to fight him anymore. That could happen as well. I don't really know. But we will see, man. We will see. I hope they fight. And like I said, I think they can fight as early as, early next year maybe. That would be cool. Build up the hype for the fight and, book a huge arena and all this shit. But let me know what you guys think down below. Do you guys think that KSI should have taken the fight? Do you kind of agree that this was the wrong time for him and all this? I don't know. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Yeah, I'll be back. There's going to be more videos. I like to have random like rant style videos, like drama-ish videos, occasionally on the channel. So let me know if you like these. If not, we don't have to even talk about it anymore. I don't care. But I got some other videos probably coming out this week. I'm going to record a bunch like right now too. So, they'll be out at some point. You feel me? So, all right. Thank y'all. Love y'all. And until next time, it's your boy, King Boys Production. Squaw.